Alright guys, we're going to look at 5.5a DOL. So it says write the equation for a cubic function with zeros at x equals 3 and x equals negative 2 with the multiplicity of 2. So right away, that multiplicity of 2 is actually going to this x equals negative 2. And if we just look at x equals 3, that's just a single one, so we'd say a multiplicity of 1. So when I write my equation, or really write my function, I start with f of x. Now, if my root is x equals 3, my factor is actually x minus 3. We always just do the opposite sign. Okay, to go from the factor, which we have right down here, to your root, x equals 3, is do the opposite. So if we add x minus 3, we look up here, we're also going to do not x minus 2, but actually x plus 2, because it's the opposite. Now all that multiplicity of 2, all that does is that you have to put an exponent up here of 2 to show that it's a double root. Really, you could put this as f of x equals x minus 3, x plus 2, x plus 2. That just kind of looks funny, and it's not simplified. So you want to keep it like this if you can, all right? That is the technically correct answer. All right, let's look at the next one here. It's just a graph. Same idea, though. We're just making a function or an equation. We're making our function, though. So the same thing. I have a root right here, and I have a root right here. So I know that if we look at our scale of our axes, we're actually going up by 2's, not by 1's. So this value right here is actually a negative 2. So x equals negative 2. And this guy over here is actually x equals, that'd be a 2, and then a 4. So that's x equals negative 2. This guy up here is x equals 4. So I'm actually going to do the opposites of those. So I'm going to do x plus 2. I'm going to do x minus 4, because we always do the opposite. Now that right there does not represent a cubic. That is just a quadratic. So we have to have that. We have to have 3 x's. We only have 2. So if we look at our graph, the root way over here, it's only crossing through the x-axis, like it goes through. See how it goes, like starts up here and just comes down? That means there's a single root. But we have this guy that comes down and goes up, and it touches the x-axis. That's actually a double root, because it changes its direction. So at x equals negative 2 is actually a double root. So I'm going to put a squared right there. If you wanted to, you could put it the other way now. Doesn't really matter. You could put the x minus 4 first. But you have to make sure that the squared goes with the x plus 2, okay? So either one of those is fine. Just depends on who writes the problem, which way is technically correct. But either one is fine. But I'll just take this guy because we always go from left to right. All right, so that was 5.5a.